All right, let's dive into the art of organizational change. We're going to talk about the science behind why some companies just seem to nail it, while others, well, they get left in the dust. I mean, you've seen this happen, right? One company drops a new product and just takes off, while another one tries something similar and crickets. It makes you wonder, what's the real difference here? How come some places are just so good at handling change, and others seem to trip over their own feet every single time? Well, the secret sauce, it turns out, isn't just luck. It's actually a super deliberate, systematic process. It's called organizational development, OD for short. And this is the framework that helps companies not just get through change, but actually get good at it. Okay, so to really get what OD is all about, you've got to understand the world we're living in now. The pressure is just constant. You've got disruptive startups popping up everywhere, crazy global supply chains, and technology that changes like every 5 minutes. All this stuff is fundamentally reshaping how we work. And this is the absolute core of it. Change isn't just an event anymore, like some project with a start and end date. No way. It is the environment. It's the water we're all swimming in now, a constant state of motion. And to keep your head above water, let alone succeed, you need a whole new mindset. So, if the world is this constantly shifting landscape, how do you even begin to navigate it? How do you not get totally lost? Well, that's exactly where OD comes in. You can think of it like your map and compass for this nonstop journey of change. Okay, so what is it really? At its core, OD is a planned, long-term thing. This isn't about slapping on a Band-Aid. It's a deep-dive, organization-wide strategy that uses insights from behavioral science to make a company healthier and better at solving its own problems. The whole idea is to build a stronger company from the inside out. So yeah, it's way more than just a process. It's a whole mindset. First off, it's a long-range effort. We're talking marathon, not a sprint. It also takes a systems view, meaning you see the company as this big, interconnected puzzle. You can't just change one piece without affecting all the others. And crucially, it's dynamic. It's about being proactive and guiding the change, not just reacting when things go wrong. You're steering the ship, not just getting tossed around by the waves. And this mindset completely flips the script on what a consultant does. You know, a traditional consultant often shows up like the expert with all the answers, they give you the solution. But an OD consultant, they're more like a facilitator, a coach. Their job isn't to solve the problem for you, but to help you build the skills to solve it yourself. It's about building independence, not dependency, which is a huge shift. Okay, so we've talked about the philosophy, the mindset, but OCD is also very hands-on. It's about action. And that action comes from what are called interventions. These are basically the tools in the toolkit, the actual things you do to make change happen. So what's an intervention? Think of it as any structured activity, a workshop, a new process, a team meeting that's designed to help the organization improve. It could be for just one team or for the whole company, but the goal is always twofold: make the organization better and help the people in it grow too. And these interventions don't just happen randomly. They fit into a bigger process. It usually kicks off at the top, with leadership and consultants planning the changes. From there, the focus shifts to people, to attitudes and behaviors. Then you work on building a better team culture, fostering that collaboration. And finally, you put the new structures in place to support all that good work. It's a really holistic journey. And wow, the toolkit is pretty huge. The interventions are usually sorted into these 4 big families. First, you've got human processes. This is all about communication, leadership, and how people work together. Think team building or conflict resolution. Then there's technostructural, which looks at the nuts and bolts, like the org chart and how jobs are designed. Human resource management is next, focusing on things like goal setting and performance reviews. And finally, you have strategic interventions, the really big picture stuff, like changing the whole company culture or navigating a merger. But look, having a massive toolkit is one thing. The real art is knowing which tool to use and when. It's not one size fits all. So how do you actually make sure these interventions are effective? Well, it all comes down to this. You have to start with valid information. It's so simple, but so important. You can't fix a problem if you don't really understand it. So effective interventions are always built on a solid diagnosis of what's really going on in the organization. And beyond just having good info, there are a few other key things you've got to ask. Is the organization actually ready for this change? Are people feeling the need for it? Does the team have the skills to handle the process? Does the intervention even fit the company culture? Does the consultant have the right experience? And maybe the most important one, are people on board? Do they feel like they own this change? Because without that internal buy-in, even the most brilliant plan is probably going to fall flat. So where is all this leading? What's the point of all this work? Well, when you put all these pieces together, the right mindset, a solid process, the right tools, you're not just managing change. You're literally building a better place to work, a more human and ultimately a more effective one. And this is why it's so powerful. The real goals of OD go way beyond the bottom line. It's about building trust and support, creating a culture where the best ideas win because authority is based on skill, not just a title. It's about encouraging people to speak up and actually boosting satisfaction and enthusiasm ultimately. You're building a problem-solving machine powered by people who want to be there. And if you take away just one thing, let it be this. Organizational development is not a destination. It's not a project you finish and then you're done. It's about building the capacity for a continuous journey. You're creating a self-renewing system, an organization that can learn, adapt, and handle whatever the future throws at it. So let me leave you with this question. Think about your own workplace right now. Whether you're in charge or part of a team, what's one small thing, one single step your organization could take to start its own development journey? What's that first move towards mastering the art of change?